We've grown over 150% of our asset size since the end of December 31st. And we've actually been able to do the same amount of loans we did in 4 years in roughly 2.5 months here.
You guys were looking at some businesses, putting some numbers around businesses that needed the access to the loans but weren't able to get it. How did you figure out how many there are like that?
Yeah, so I think the first thing to do is just to tell you what Lendistry is or who we are. So we combine the best parts of fintech, efficiency, user experience, and scalability with the best parts of traditional lending, which is low cost of customer acquisition, low cost of funds, strong risk management. We made a decision to intentionally focus on underserved business owners just as part of the mission of the company. And so when we got into PPP, it was a pretty easy process to kind of continue to focus on those small business owners. I'm sure you all know that the underserved small business owners were in a precarious financial position kind of coming into COVID-19. And so we were able to really get deep with those business owners and help them out.
Specifically, I think what Sarah was getting at, you provided us with some statistics about how some minority-owned businesses were getting the least access and needed it the most.
Yes. Yeah. So minority business owners, unfortunately, as we're looking at it today, it looks like they have a closure rate almost 2 times that as the national average. And then our Latinx business owners are about 150%. One of the things that's been interesting as we're trying to build more rapport with them is getting an understanding of what they think about the SBA process. Historically, only 3% of loans have went to African Americans. And so we've looked at what's going on, and we've got some fixes that we want to do to PPP. So in addition to lending to them, we will also have been making some suggestions to SBA as well as Congress about what we think would be right in terms of some improvements to PPP. I'll share those 3 with you if that's okay. One of which is we need a simplified process for loan amounts under $150,000 in terms of forgiveness. The second is that we think that we need to find a way to bring the big banks and those with infrastructure and those with the marketing power back into the fold. So we suggested to them for loans under $150,000 that we should increase the premiums paid to them to 7% or a minimum of $750. Everyone's not a mission-based lender like we are. And so we're trying to think of other ways that we can help bring them into the fold. The last thing we would suggest is that the mission-based lenders who are out here who have been building the rapport, if we could find a way to allow them to continue originating the PPP loans. Our suggestion is until September 30th.
Do you expect any of these changes to actually happen, Everett, in another round, if there is one?
We do. And one of the biggest things with the CARES Act has been the SBA program. For SBA loans originated between now and September 27th, the small business owner will have SBA pay their payment for the next 6 months. I believe that SBA, with roughly $100 billion plus money left over, they're going to consider other things that they can do to improve programs like Community Advantage. One of the things we suggested to them is increasing the dollar amount from $250,000 to $350,000. We've also suggested that from a regulatory perspective, they consider increasing the amount of credit that banks get for CRA and other regulated activities so that they could be more involved in the process. But we do believe that in the spirit of helping everyone through this pandemic, everyone is interested in helping the small business owner get through this crisis and rebuild and improve.
Everett, just going back to what you said at the top, that PPP had led to a massive increase in volumes for you as a company. Does that mean that PPP will prove to be very profitable for your company?
It absolutely will, Wilfred. And naturally, as leadership, we're trying to think of other ways we can help the underserved community. I also want to point out that 4.5 million businesses have received PPP, and we think there's another 4.5 million businesses that are eligible for PPP. But as it relates to our business, we're trying to make sure we continue to serve the underserved small business owners. Yes, there'll definitely be some great profits that Lendistry will receive. We'll continue to invest in technology, continue to become more scalable, continue to stay on focus and stay on mission of helping the small business owner and their businesses.